welcome back to the Grow Your Business series with Kim, Emily, and Mallory. We are talking about all of the things that lead up to launching and growing your business. The topic of today is, what is a lead generator or a lead magnet? Like, what's a better way to understand that is simple and practical? So I'm going to talk about what it is for me, like how I see it. And then Emily and Mallory will add in like the components and how they see it. Does that sound good to you guys? Good. All right. So a lead gen, as we call it, or a lead magnet, is the thing that brings people to you. Like, lead gen means we want to generate leads. A lead is a potential client. A lead is those people in your pipeline. So imagine that a lead gen for a restaurant is something that they serve on their menu, or maybe it's Thursday night buffet, but it's something that's luring or baiting the client in. Like, come in and try this. Come in and see this. Hey, are you interested in this? And then once that client comes into the restaurant, then they have potential for becoming future clients, right? They might see something that they want to come back for. It's the business's job to continue that relationship. But the lead generator or the lead magnet is what is going to magnetize leads, which are people that will be potential clients, future business. So I feel like I want to like really simplify this, because we've been talking a lot about it in eSchool and with our clients, because there's this assumption that I'm going to put this lead gen out. And I also call this Leo. It's a low end offer. So it's either free or low, but it's something that gets their attention and attracts them closer to you. There is this perception that like that's the game, that's the end game. For me, to get off context, it's like when I get to Buc-ee's. I'm like, oh, I thought this was like the destination. Like, I'm so excited to get to Buc-ee's when I'm on a road trip that I sometimes forget that, oh, I have to keep driving. I have to keep going. And so I see that the clients kind of see it that way too. They're like, they didn't stop and get gas. They didn't come in and like, they didn't bite on my lead. They didn't like take the bait. But it's so much deeper than that. Because what's happening when you're creating this lead gen is you are getting clarity. You're getting more familiar with your customer or your client, and you're getting clear about how to reach them, like what to say. And it's also putting you in momentum and excitement and energy of serving. And that within itself has an energy that's luring them towards you, like a current, just like kind of bringing them closer to you. And so whenever they're coming in closer, and then you're like, yeah, well, they didn't stop. They didn't sign up. Yep, didn't work. You actually lost the point. The goal was to we are a family business. The goal is the lead generator is going to bring those leads close. And then you're going to have a container. So if we were going to if we're going to talk about fishing, it would be, let's imagine there's a big lake, but then there's these coves, these little coves that come out from the lake. You're like a cove. And you are going to start planting things that the fish want to come and hang out in. Like they take Christmas trees once they take them down. You know, they put things in the water because fish like to go hang out in those things. And so you're pulling the fish out of the big lake and you're attracting them into this cove, which is your email list, your Facebook group, your audience on social media. And so that is the lure. Like, I'm luring towards a place that I want to hang out at. Then they become your audience. And then once you have their attention, that's what the lead gen does. It gets attention. It attracts attention. Now you have an audience, or you've got like this area of fish. Okay. So you've brought them closer to you. Now you can go out onto the deck and you can like start baiting. That's going to be the product that you offer. So let's say that You're talking about something on social media that's really interesting. They start following you. They start, engaging, and that's so cool. And oh my God, get out of my head. You sound just like me. You're in the energy. You're in the momentum. You're building more, deeper relationships. Now those people are going to sign up to do something with you. Maybe it's a free meditation. Maybe it's a free consult. Maybe it's coming to your challenge. Then they may need more. So just because they came to the cove and you lured them in with whatever you put in the water, whatever attracted them that start bringing them there, maybe they don't like your bait. And I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want that. So what are you going to do? Like send them back into the lake? Or are you going to like go and find out what other kind of bait? What else would they like? What else do they want? You know, maybe you want to set lines instead of a rod and reel. Like you want to find out what your audience or your guests like. So with that information, I think not getting hung up on the lead gen being the thing, being the buckies, being the conversion at that point, it's really just an opportunity to grow your audience so that you have more leads, so that when you do have an offer or a product, you will have people who are ready to purchase it. So Emily, how would you kind of tie all this into branding? And Malerie, how would you tie this into messaging?
Yeah, so what I do with our eSchool clients is apply our brand package to whatever you're trying to do as your lead gen. So the process that I do with brand design helps you get clear on who you are and how to express that. And then we can just easily apply that to your webinar that you're going to do, or a presentation, or if you're going to do a live event. Whenever we have that clarity, we can easily put it into a brochure or business cards or your presentation. So for me, it all goes hand in hand, because you don't want to lure them in with something that's not true. And the more clarity you have on that truth, on that authenticity, the more like high vibe you are when you're creating these freebies or opt-ins, whatever it is. If it's a checklist, a download, or a planner that you're going to give them when they give you their email list, like whatever it is, you can put your stamp on it and they see that piece of you when they get that bait. It's truly you, and it's an expression of who you are, and you feel good about it. Like Kim is saying, when you have that energy, that momentum with that brand, then you're more in line with what you're doing. And the people, once they get to the cove, if we're using that same metaphor, they're more likely to be already bought in, because they see that you're trustworthy. You're the same wherever you go. If you hand out a business card, it looks exactly like your website. And if you meet them in person, how you show up is exactly what they're seeing on your social media, because it's all the same brand as a person, in materials and how you speak, everything that you're doing. It's all the same vibe, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm with Emily on that. It's everything that you're doing is about the energy and the momentum that you're in, because that is what brings more people to you. So the whole point of having a lead magnet, a lead generator, whatever you want to call it, is for you to have the opportunity to talk to someone who would be the ideal person to buy into whatever it is that you're offering, because you know that your business exists to solve a specific problem for a specific person in the specific way that you do it. So if you have a way to talk to people about that problem, like if you hear people talking about, I have this problem, they're looking for a specific solution, and you're like, oh, I have something that will help you with that problem. And then you offer them your lead magnet, which then takes them down the road, takes them to the next step to how you can help, work with them to solve that problem once and for all. Like your lead magnet might be something that gives them a quick win, but it probably won't solve the whole problem, and then they're forever done with that problem. But it gives you the opportunity to say, this is the problem I solve for people who are just like you, and I think this will help you. And so you're in that energy and that momentum of helping them solve that problem. And then they see you as the expert in that field and that in solving that problem. And then they take the next step with you. So it's an opportunity for you to talk to people and for you. So all the more reason why you have to be super clear on the problem that you solve, who the person is that you're solving it for, and what you're doing and how you're helping them solve that problem. So it all goes back down to the basics every single time. Kim, you're on mute.
To bring it all together, I think the number one thing that we get from our clients, and guys, you can be in direct sales, you could be making homemade soaps and lotions, and it could be any kind of business. It doesn't have to be a coaching business or a healing business. No matter what, there is something that is first attracting them to you. So in a brick and mortar, it's your sign. It's your number. It used to be your number in the phone book. It's your business card at the chiropractor's office or at the gym or whatever it is. That right there is the lure, or is the bait, or is they know that you're alive. Very first thing is exposure. But you have to break this word apart: lead generator or lead magnet. First, what is a lead? A lead is a potential client, a potential customer, a potential sale. A magnet or a generator is something that creates drive or force towards that lead. I hope this is helpful and simple enough, and yet still inspiring you to go and take action. The biggest problem that I see is most entrepreneurs haven't had business training. They get a skill set, they have a desire to serve, they want to just go out and create something, do something. They're great at music, they're great at yoga, they're great at something, and they don't really understand the big picture of all the components it takes to get the customer. And with social media, and we've seen things like, I built a multi-six-figure essential oil business on social media back in the day. You actually can't really do that anymore. You know, everything about the algorithm has changed. And back then, I actually didn't know what a lead gen was, but I had created it. I had done it. For me, it was somebody's like, my kid has a rash. And then I would say, would you like to try something? I have a sample at the shop you can come and pick up. And they would come and pick it up. Like, that's how it happened. Or I would say, like, if they lived out of town, have you tried this and this? That actually is a lead gen. I generated a potential client who bought essential oils.
Can I add?
Yeah.
And I'm seeing for our clients, this is something that we do in eSchool. We help our clients create their lead generators because we're helping them build their business. And this is one huge step of it. They're getting hung up on finding the right lead gen or the right thing to offer people or the perfect thing to offer people, not realizing that you're probably going to have a lot of them. You're probably going to have multiple different challenges, multiple different kinds of free downloads, or different kinds of meditations that you're offering people, or different types of events that you're offering. All those things count as lead generators, and there's not ever going to just be one, because you're going to do one and you're going to say, oh, this is what worked. This didn't work. I'm going to try that again. But then you might explore, find some new things, new problems that are part of the big solution that you offer. And then you can create a different kind of lead magnet for that, or a different kind of person who's like, I have that already, but I need this. And it's still the same client that you serve. So it's one way to take one step and be in the action momentum so that you can figure out what it is that these people need to hear from you.
Yeah. One of the biggest problems is black and white thinking, all or none. It's got to be perfect. I need to have that one thing. Just so you know, this is a lead gen. This is giving you an inside look of what we do for business owners. My podcast, lead gen. My free Facebook group, lead gen. The Flaw of Attraction, a course that you can buy that we float around social media, lead gen. Simple Business Trifecta, everything we do in eSchool, but you got to do it yourself. Those are all lead gens. I have tons of them. Matter of fact, we have to hide a lot of them because it's confusing and they don't know what to order on the menu because it's too many options. So probably the biggest problem is it has to be perfect. I need this one thing that's going to get everyone. That is not what a fisherman does. Have you ever looked in their tackle box? Seriously, do any of you know fishermen? Holy smokes. Have you been to Toledo Bend, to Toledo Tackle, where there's aisles of lures and baits and artificial and live, and some of them have more than one tackle box. And how many rod and reels do they have? Depending on the offer, depending on what they want for dinner, depending on where they're fishing at, depending on like what because they might master setting lines, and I think that's catfish, like getting that, then they might want to go get something else. And so they, again, have to try a whole bunch of things to find out what the perch like. Is this helpful? Is there anyone that's watching this live that has questions? Do you have feedback, observations? The thing that, with Emily's saying about being cohesive, it's kind of the same thing with the bait. You want to, like, if that bait is working, then you want them to recognize, you want the area to recognize, you want to stay, it's all about connectivity. And the other thing I wrote is, you might be your lead gen. I have been my lead gen, not my digital products, not my courses, not my offers. I have been the thing that lured them in for more, a conversation with me, or maybe someone who's listening to this, or someone who listened to the podcast. So you might be your lead gen. Your brilliance, your guidance, your mind, your inspiration might be the lead gen. Do you want to add anything to that, Emily or Malerie, before we hop out of here?
Yeah, I would just say that, again, it's more about the process of creating something with your intention of really helping someone solve that problem. Like Malerie was saying, if you have that in the forefront of your mind, people will be magnetized to you because you are in that energy of solving that problem. And sometimes you go to create this beautiful lead magnet and you have it all set up and no one comes, but then 2 private clients reach out to you to sign up. They don't care about your lead magnet. They're just like, I want you. And that happens. And our clients are confused, like, wait, why did I waste all this time doing this thing for nothing? And it's like, no, that energy is what brought them to you. So it's like, we keep saying, do these things, but also that's not the thing that brings your success.
It's like I happened to catch that fish that was there, that was crazy on this hook, on that, like, wait, in that case, you just had to show up. And so there are those cases that you happen to be in the right place at the right time, in the right energy, saying the right thing, and it just happens. Those are the funnest. When you're like sad because no one bought your $27 product and someone bought your $6,000 product. And they're like, no one signed up. I only, I couldn't get people. 12 people signed up. No one came to the call. How much money did you make? $6,800. Oh, so instead of making 270, you made 6,800. We very often have these conversations, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, was what Emily brought up. Like, it's really just creating the opportunity, creating the reason to talk to somebody, creating the challenge or the group or the solution to whatever it is. It's just about you being in creation energy.
I even notice it in myself, like when I go create a presentation for Kim to use in a call and she doesn't use it. I'm like, well, what did I do that? But that got me a lot of clarity in creating the presentation. And then the call is even better because she's in her flow and genius, and the thing doesn't actually matter. But as a team, we're creating things and we're getting better and smarter as we go. That's the same thing for our clients. You're reiterating on you and your products every single time you go through this process. So it's always worth it, even if you don't see those immediate results.
Yep. And then you have a resource to keep offering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful part is, even though that lead gen didn't do what I thought it would do in present time, it now becomes like a bonus. So if somebody comes here, I give that to them. If somebody does it, I'm like, hey, I'll add this to it because it's something that they really wanted. But it's not going to be a waste. Number one, you're going to get aligned. You're going to get in the right energy. you're going to start talking to the people who are interested in what you want. And then you'll have a few wake-up calls that you need to do something different. You know, an example for that is we're doing Belief Boot Camp. That is a live event that's happening. And there are people who are like, I can't go. I have something happening that date, or I couldn't get a flight to come in. It's not a convenient time for me. But what else do you have? How can I work with you online? So just the mere offer, just making an offer. So think about it in fishing, the lure, the bait, the consistency. You got to get in the boat, or you got to go to the edge of the water. You got to start with something, even if it's just a net and getting the little minnows that are close by. At least it gets you practice. It's something. It's a fish. It's something. You caught something. All right. So we like to keep these short and sweet. If you guys have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, I encourage you to do so. I will put the link below here. We got some really cool stuff coming up for 2023. We're planning out our entire year, strategy, business goals, and all of our lead gens, which are way more than 3 that are going to get butts in the seat. Butts in the seat. That is what your lead gen is for. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, add it below. If you want to come into the More Than Mindset free group and meet us there, have questions, anything like that, then you are welcome.